Unit 3, Career Counseling. In a world in which the concept of a career is becoming increasingly fluid, career guidance is not a once-in-a-lifetime experience that orients a person in a particular direction for all time. The most influential factor in young people's choice of degree course is advice from parents. Family members exert a powerful influence on the self-concept and thought patterns of clients who seek career guidance and the decisions they make about themselves in relation to work or education or the absence of these activities. These decisions often have a significant impact on other aspects of their lives and the people around them. Effective career guidance, therefore, cannot be given in a vacuum. It must take into account the life circumstances in which the next phase of a person's career will be set. The information given in this unit will help you to understand and become familiar with the objectives of career counseling. Objectives. After studying this unit, you will be able to understand career counseling and its objectives, explain factors influencing career decisions, identify reasons to choose a career based on the theories of career counseling, discuss techniques used in career counseling and the processes of career counseling, and describe the importance of career counseling in today's context. What is career counseling? Career counseling involves all activities that seek to disseminate information about present or future vocations in such a way that individuals become more knowledgeable and aware of who they are in relation to the world of work. Career counseling is for people who are pretty normal and have no emotional problems that would interfere with developing a rational approach to making a vocational or career choice. Super, 1957, defines a career as the course of events that constitutes a life, the sequence of occupations and other life roles which combine to express one's commitment to work in her or his total pattern of self-development. The series of remunerated and non-remunerated positions occupied by a person from adolescence through retirement, of which occupation is only one. A career includes work-related roles such as those of student, employee, and pensioner together with vocational, familial, and civic roles. Brown and Brooks, 1991, define career counseling as follows. Career counseling is an interpersonal process designed to assist individuals with career development problems. Career development is the process of choosing, entering, adjusting to, and advancing in an occupation. It is a lifelong process that interacts dynamically with other life roles. Career problems include, but are not limited to, career indecisions and undecidedness, work performance, stress and adjustment, incongruence of the person and work environment, and inadequate or unsatisfactory integration of life roles with other life roles, for example, parent, friend, citizen. Aims of career counseling. The following are the main aims of career counseling. 1. Assess career development needs at various points in life. 2. Enable vocational exploration or information. 3. Understand and resolve clients' conflict between themselves and others over career choice or job performance. 4. Understand the process of effective career choice. 5. Explore self-conflict, ambivalence, or mixed motivations about two or more different occupations. 6. Resolve conflicts arising from life transitions that are causing career-related problems. 7. Take appropriate action to implement career objectives. 8. Provide confirmation of a plan. And 9. Clarify objectives for the future. 3.3. WO needs career counseling. While guidance may be associated primarily with people who are setting out on a career path after leaving education or those who have been forcibly evicted from their employment by redundancy, the need for guidance can occur for anyone at any time. The following are among the groups of people identified as in need of career counseling. 1. People leaving education at school or college level. 2. People wishing to return to education to improve their employment prospects, acquire new skills, or update their knowledge and skills after a career break. 3. Returnees from career breaks who wish to explore options for resuming or changing their careers. 4. People whose jobs are redundant or insecure. 5. Workers achieving little job satisfaction and seeking more rewarding employment. 6. People whose jobs are too stressful. 7. People whose hopes for promotion have not been fulfilled and who want to stimulate their career development proactively. 8. People wanting to switch between full-time and part-time work and vice versa. 9. People contemplating setting up their own business. And 10. Older workers approaching retirement, seeking meaningful occupations in the broadest sense, which will lead to self-fulfillment and a sense of being valued by the community. 3.4. Distinctive features of career counseling. Career counseling parallels other kinds of counseling, but it focuses on planning and making decisions about occupations and education. As in all counseling, the personal relationship between the counselor and the client is critical. Values and attitudes are explored in career counseling, but more information and factual data in occupational areas are required than in personal counseling. In the case of career counseling, while the client may see his or her uncertainty and confusion as a major problem, the careers advisor tends to see the matter not as a problem, but as an issue to be discussed, explored, and resolved as part of that person's development. If not in the initial interview, then at least within a reasonable timescale. This approach gives a very positive tenor to most careers interviews, with a view to encouraging the client to cease regarding occupational choice as a problem. Also, in the final stages of counseling, decisions about career choice or career development are made as part of the expected changes in attitudes and behaviors. 3.5 Factors that influence career decisions. 3.5.1 Family. The interactions of the individual within the family have an important impact on her or his emotions, behavior, and life decisions. The psychological environment and the behavioral norms provided by the family are important but largely have unconscious influences on the individual in deciding on a career. In a careers interview, it is often important to explore to what extent the client's thinking on career issues is being shaped by the views of the family. Some of the tensest situations arise when maturing adults experience a serious mismatch between their parents' expectations of them and what they themselves want or feel capable of achieving. Similarly, where a client is proposing to follow a line of action contrary to her or his own wishes because of perceived external pressure, the counselor may wish to raise the client's awareness of her or his reasons for opting for a particular route. This can occur for a variety of reasons. Some parents, when investing in their children's education, either through paying for schooling or supporting them through university, see themselves as making sacrifices. When parents expect that their son or daughter will treat study and the subsequent job search as a serious matter from the start, the young person may perceive a dilemma between satisfying parental demands and following her or his personal route. Other parents may be tempted to try to live their own unfulfilled ambitions through their families. In such cases, a child can be virtually brainwashed from an early age into accepting how wonderful it would be to become a doctor, an actor, or a commando. Some young people may satisfy their parents' hopes while fulfilling their own ambition, and the dream is then achieved for both generations. In other cases, however, a point is reached at which the young persons have to acknowledge that the lifestyle chosen for them by their parents is not working for them and recognize their own lack of commitment at heart to this chosen occupation. Sometimes parents can have difficulty accepting the fact that their children are not as intelligent, athletic, musical, business-oriented, or otherwise talented as they would like or imagine them to be. This can result in parental expectations well beyond the young adult's capabilities, irrespective of any amounts of cajoling and extra tuition. Such a situation of low self-esteem can be exacerbated if parents, whether wittingly or unwittingly, hold up one sibling as an example to the others. The favored child may either revel in or become embarrassed by this situation, which in itself can cause further tensions within the family. 2. Peers. Alongside parental influence, the desire for acceptance by peers has a powerful influence, particularly in adolescence. The uncertainty experienced during this phase may lead the young person to seek a common identity with a group of peers. Alternatively, she or he might choose to underachieve academically in order not to be out of step with a group that prizes other forms of behavior rather than academic achievement, perhaps due to an underlying wish to rebel against her or his parents. In either case, The urge to be acceptable to peers by being as much like them as possible may transcend the need to clarify and follow her or his own individual goals. In the course of their explorations, adolescents begin to realize that peer pressure had influenced many of the decisions they had made about their lives. They become aware that it is time to take more responsibility for their own decisions and actions. 3.53 Social Norms. Beyond the influence of family and peers lies a complex set of social mores and norms which specific cultures lay down to regulate society and differentiate between what the majority calls normal and abnormal behavior. These norms also determine an individual's course of action in deciding on a career. Such groups tend to operate with stereotypes and discriminate against those who cannot or will not conform to social norms. Learning also occurs through observation of other people's behavior and its consequences. The most likely outcome is that individuals will copy behaviors modeled by people with whom they identify. The careers advisor has an important role to play in ensuring that individuals are encouraged to think beyond these stereotypes and not confine their occupational choices. Additionally, they are given strategies for coping with difficulties they may encounter. 3.54 Life Events. As individuals develop, significant events can happen in their lives, causing them to reappraise their values, self-concept, relationships, and careers. These experiences include leaving home, marriage, the birth of a child, the loss of a significant person through death or other means, becoming seriously ill or disabled, and a variety of other circumstances that change life for the individual. Such turning points in life require individuals to make a transition from one state of being, thinking, or doing to another. Although individuals vary in their capacity to cope with change and adapt to new sets of circumstances and relationships, most people need time to work through the process of accepting change and moving on to the next stage. Theories of career counseling. Professional interest in the process of how an individual selects an occupation is relatively new. With industrialization and urbanization, vocational choices were no longer limited to what a person's father or mother did, or to the types of work that existed within a particular community. The ever-increasing range of occupational alternatives and the accompanying uncertainties and confusion created the need for professional assistance in selecting a career. As the field of career counseling has attempted to meet this need, various theoretical rationales have been developed to provide a framework for the practice of career counseling. With 3.6.1 Trait Factor Theory. The trait factor theory is based on the assumption that each person possesses a uniquely organized pattern of personal traits, interests, abilities, and personal characteristics that are fairly stable and seldom change after late adolescence. Williamson, 1965. Advocates of the theory assume that a person's abilities and traits could be measured objectively and quantified. Personal motivation was considered relatively stable. Occupations can also be profiled by analyzing them in terms of the amounts of the various individual traits they require. Thus, satisfaction in a particular occupation depended on a proper fit between one's abilities and the job requirements. A major task of the career counselor who is oriented toward trait factor theory is to assist people in making better career decisions by helping them become more knowledgeable about their own traits, learn more about job requirements, and match those personal characteristics with the job requirements. 3.6.2 Structural Theories. Rowe in 1956 theorized and researched the concept that there are definite personality differences between members of various occupations and that these differences are attributable to early parent-child relationships. She postulates 3 psychological climates in the home that are a function of parent-child relations. 1. Emotional concentration on the child, either by overprotecting or over-demanding climate. 2. Avoidance of the child, either by neglecting or rejecting climate. And 3. Acceptance of the child, either by casual or loving climate. Deficiencies during childhood can be compensated for by and through work. Thus, individuals who did not receive sufficient praise and respect from their parents may attempt to elicit these through their work and subsequently may seek jobs that can bring them praise and respect. The same holds true for other needs that were unmet at earlier stages of development. The individual turns to work to gratify these needs. Rowe's insights help the counselor better understand the variety of factors that play a part in the individual's decision to pursue or avoid certain jobs, as well as why a job does or does not meet an individual's needs. Holland, 1985, proposed a theory that is both a theory of personality structure and vocational choice. It focuses primarily on vocational choice, but is also concerned with emotional functioning, creativity, and personal development. Holland's theory emphasizes that the typology of the individual and the working environment are essential factors in work satisfaction. To emphasize this person-situation correspondence, Holland has classified work environments into 6 categories, analogous to 6 personal orientations: realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. By doing so, Holland makes it explicit that occupations are ways of life and help to define social status, lifestyle, and standard of living. He postulates that stereotypes of occupations have important psychological and sociological significance. Thus, he suggests that a person's occupational choice can have limited but useful value as a projective device in revealing motivations, insight, and self-understanding. Since these theories stress the importance of need satisfaction in choosing an occupation, it becomes highly important for a structurally oriented counselor to assess a client's cognitive, affective, and social needs. Counselors are then able to provide clients with enough career information to allow them to choose a career that will satisfy their needs and be congruent with their personality structure. 3.3 Developmental Theories. Ginsberg and his associates, 1951, were early leaders in theorizing about career development as a process that culminates in an occupational choice in one's early 20s. That is, as each occupationally relevant decision is made, other choices are eliminated. They identified 4 sets of factors that interact to influence the ultimate career choice: individual values, emotional factors, amount and kind of education, and impact of reality through environmental pressures. Ginsberg and his associates also identified 3 phases in the period of career choice development. 1. Fantasy phase, from birth to age 11. 2. Tentative phase, from ages 11 to 17. And 3. Realistic phase, between ages 17 and early 20s. During these life stages, individuals are faced with certain tasks. As they confront these tasks, they make compromises between wishes and possibilities, and each compromise contributes to the irreversibility of the unfolding process. The theory that is most widely used in career development is the one proposed by Super, 1953. His theory of career choice is based on the idea that an individual's self-concept influences their occupational choice and their ultimate satisfaction or dissatisfaction with their choice. This vocational choice is the result of a developmental process that puts the individual's self-concept into practice. It is a theory of career development rather than occupational choice. The jobs individuals hold over a lifetime represent the development of their self-concept as expressed in their world of work. 3.6.4 Decision-making theories. The major concept in decision-making theory is that each individual has several possible alternatives from which to choose. Each alternative has identifiable results or consequences. Each of the anticipated results has a specific value for the individual, a value that can be estimated through some method of psychological scaling. Therefore, if the resulting values of the alternatives can be arranged in a hierarchy, the probable occurrence of each outcome can also be determined. Bergland, 1974, has identified a sequence of events that occur in decision-making, including the following steps: defining the problem, generating alternatives, gathering information, processing information, making plans and selecting goals, and implementing and evaluating plans. Together, these emphases in decision-making suggest that the individual needs both a prediction system and a value system that permit decisions to be made among preferences and expectancies for action within a climate of uncertainty. Tier 3.6.5 Social Learning Theory. A theory of social learning within occupational choice has been developed by Mitchell, Jones, Lack, and Krumboltz, 1979. This theory identifies four conditions that influence an individual's perception of realistic career options. One, genetic factors and abilities. Physical and mental endowment may rule out some occupations, for example, eyesight deficiency for a pilot, and make others possible, musical ability for a singer. Two, environment. Lack of social and educational opportunities or encouragement to aspire to ambitious goals may depress an individual's career expectations. Three, learning experiences. The presence or absence of role models to whom an individual can relate will influence her or his views on what is possible for someone of her or his gender, social class, ethnic origin, and general background to achieve. Four, task approach skills. Unless an individual has learned to clarify her or his values, seek information, evaluate the consequences of career options, choose a preferred option, and plan to achieve it, her or his sense of control over career choice will remain underdeveloped. She or he will remain passive instead of proactive in determining her or his career. At the other end of the spectrum is the opportunity structure theory of Ken Roberts, 1968. Roberts' thesis is that for most people, occupational choice is structured by factors outside the individual, including social class, educational opportunities, and the current state of the labor market, depending on economic trends in supply and demand. 3.6 Community Interaction Theory. According to Law's 1981 Community Interaction Theory, the community consists of peers, neighbors, teachers, other authority figures, ethnic groups, and the hierarchy of social classes. He identifies 5 ways in which the community influences people. 1. Expectations, communicated explicitly or implicitly by family members and peers. Conflicting expectations may confuse the individual's career choice. 2. Feedback, reactions by others to the individual's tentative career choice confirm or deny her or his suitability for particular occupational roles in the eyes of the community. 3. Support, encouragement from sectors of the community can reinforce the individual's career choice and enable her or him to progress towards it. 4. Modeling, observation of other people in work roles helps the individual decide whether a similar occupation might suit her or him. This is powerfully reinforced if the role model comes from a similar background. 5. Information. As members of a community, individuals receive both factual data about employment and impressions gained from people in work. These can help to shape their view of the types of work available and suited to their own needs. 3.7 Techniques in Career Counseling. Assessment is an important part of the work of those involved in career counseling and consultation. In particular, the counselor should be aware of the factors in career counseling. Appraisal of the client's characteristics, including intelligence, interests, special abilities, aspirations, needs, and values among other qualities. Introduction of outside information. Exploration of alternatives. Clarification of occupational possibilities. Integration of the factual material with the personal information, and decision-making. The various instruments available to aid the counselor in assessing this information include card sorts, psychometric instruments, aptitude tests, vocational interest inventories, personality inventories, computer-aided guidance systems, interview role play, and information services. The counselor uses her or his professional skills to decide on the most appropriate instruments. Care must be taken, however, not to confuse or demotivate the client by suggesting the use of too many of these tools at one time. The counselor must make careful decisions based on the perceived needs of the client and the objectives which the instrument can fulfill. Much of this assessment is completed internally, but can be shared with the client, thereby enhancing the cooperative nature of the interview. Affirm, where necessary, that the counselor will offer appropriate interpretation and feedback. 3.7.1 Card sorts. Some clients have difficulty understanding the importance of identifying the skills they have or the value systems they operate from. Others may find difficulty in verbalizing these. Card sorts can be used to aid these processes. The client is asked to sort a number of cards, each describing a particular skill or value, into, for instance, their order of importance to the client. This tool facilitates the cooperative nature of the interview and aids in acknowledging and exploring some of the real issues for the client. 3.782 Aptitude Tests. Aptitude tests set out to measure a client's specific ability in a particular area. They involve helping the client look more objectively at themselves in relation to different types of jobs. They are especially useful when a client is trying to decide between 2 or 3 types of work. The client is unrealistic, over or underconfident about the level of her or his ability. The client wants to get some experience of the kinds of tests employers use in selection. The client is confused about the level of ability she or he has in a particular area. And a client has had considerable work experience and needs to step back from considering the tasks involved to review how they work with people, their thinking style, and their emotional balance. 2 aptitude batteries are predominant in vocational counseling. 1. The differential aptitude test, DAT, widely given in high schools. 2. The general aptitude test battery, GATB, most often administered by state employment offices to the general population. 3.73 Vocational interest inventories. Vocational interest inventories, in which clients compare themselves to groups of people in various occupations, are the most popular measures used in counseling. The Strong Campbell Interest Inventory, SCII, the Cooter Occupational Interest Survey, COIS, and Holland's Self-Directed Search, SDS, are examples of widely used interest inventories. The client's profile of interests is compared with people employed successfully in a wide variety of occupations in the SCII. These occupations are grouped according to Holland's personality types and environmental structures. See 3.7.4 Personality Inventories. Personality inventories are used by counselors in career counseling who believe that personality characteristics relate to career development. Some counselors also administer personality inventories if they sense that personal conflicts are interfering with career resolution. The California Psychological Inventory, CPI, and the Edwards Personal Preference Schedule, EPPS, are representative of personality inventories used in vocational counseling. And 3.7.5 Use of computer-assisted programs. Computer-assisted programs are most useful in counseling when counselors and clients are ready to explore career information. It is virtually impossible for counselors to organize, edit, classify, and dispense the tremendous amount of information available describing occupations, occupational characteristics, and occupational requirements. Also, only through computer databases can counselors keep up with the ever-changing trends, up-to-date projections about jobs, and new job descriptions. However, computers can give only limited help to clients in their explorations about themselves and their interactions with others. Clients often need a counselor's help in expressing their interests or clarifying perceptions about their own abilities before using a computer. Additionally, material gained from computer-assisted programs is best synthesized and integrated into counseling sessions. Computers, therefore, do not replace counselors, but assist them in counseling. The major computer-assisted programs are Discover and Siggy. 3.7.6 Interview Role Play. This is potentially a very powerful tool and is particularly useful where the client wants to prepare for an impending interview. The client has consistently failed to achieve a job offer following interviews and needs to diagnose what is going wrong. And the client significantly lacks confidence, underestimates her or his ability, or is overconfident. The practice interview provides real evidence of behavior, allowing the advisor to intervene effectively and help the client develop appropriate skills. This tool can be offered in a variety of formats depending on the needs of the client and the circumstances and settings of the environment in which the counseling interview takes place. 3.77 Information Services. Currently, there is a vast explosion of information in society, no less so in the career world. In addition to conventional written information, the advisor can draw on computer-generated video material. Experienced counselors draw on information gathered from visits to employers and contact with other clients, which may be of value. There are 3 guiding principles for the advisor in providing information sources for the client. 1. The information must be accurate, up to date. 2. The information must be provided at a level that is appropriate for the individual client. 3. The information must be accessible to the client. SA 3.7.8 Special Techniques for Adolescents. Several techniques have proven quite effective in helping adolescents crystallize ideas about careers. Some involve the use of fantasies, such as imagining a typical day in the future, an awards ceremony, a mid-career change, or retirement. More concrete exercises might include completing an occupational family tree to find out how present interests compare with the careers of family members. Another career focus within high schools is youth apprenticeship, a popular approach that provides work-based learning for adolescents. This method helps students who are not college-bound make a smooth transition from high school to the primary work environment. 3.8. The career counseling process. Career development has been described as a process shaped by an interaction of self-references, self-knowledge, knowledge about training and occupations, educational and occupational options. The career counseling process is characterized as comprising the following 4 stages. Building the relationship. The key task of this stage is to establish a working alliance. Enabling clients' self-understanding. The main task is to help clients deepen their understanding and insight into their situation. Exploring new perspectives. At the 3rd stage, the clients develop new perspectives on their problems, forming strategies and plans. The central activity here is preparing for the end of the counseling relationship by helping clients set goals and decide on the steps they need to take to achieve them. 3.9. Importance of career counseling in today's context. One of the most profound changes in the past few decades has been in the area of attitudes toward work. An increasing number of people no longer view work as toil and drudgery. Rather, they see it as a means of personal expression, of growing and building self-esteem, and of satisfying personal needs. In the past, individuals typically remained in a particular occupation throughout most of their lives. Today, more people are changing their occupations many times during their lives. From a career standpoint, we are now living in an age where the rapidity of technological development can affect what we do and how we do it almost overnight, resulting in increasing numbers of adults who, of necessity, make career decisions throughout their working lifespan. In addition, more people are questioning the validity of yearly income as the sole criterion of occupational success. They are changing from higher-paying jobs to lower-paying jobs because they find them more desirable in other respects, such as personal need fulfillment, living where they want to, and having time to spend with their family. Let us sum up. Some of the advice from informal sources like parents or friends may be sound, well-researched, and appropriately targeted, but this is not always the case. Such advice givers are not specialists in careers work and may deal with career inquiries infrequently. The advice may be at best limited and at worst out of date, erroneous, and misleading. Dramatic changes in the world of work and the increased need for career assistance across all ages have resulted in career counseling and placement receiving new impetus in recent decades. 3.11 Glossary, Career Counseling, an interpersonal process designed to assist individuals in career development. CPI, California Psychological Inventory. DAT, Differential Aptitude Test. Edwards Personal Preferences Schedule. General Aptitude Test Battery. Cooter Occupational Interest Survey. Strong Campbell Interest Inventory. Self-Directed Search.